All right, just a quick process of how I go about finding places to metal detect when I'm traveling. This is kind of a sort of a process I do. I went on to San Antonio's website and did a search for city ordinances and parks allowed for metal detecting. Printed off this page. This is on their website. They have this huge list of parks that are okay to metal detect, and they do have a list of rules and regulations that you have to abide by. So what I do is I literally do take the list of parks and I go through and check each park. So like the very next one on my list is to check this one. All right. So I go through and I go to Google Maps. I type in the name. So it comes up on my phone. There is Medina's Base Park. What I do is I click right here for the copy the address location. Some parks don't have an address, so I find a business next to it and use that address. I go to historicaerials.com viewer. I click up in here where the address goes. I replace the address for each park with copy and paste. Enter. And then it brings up this little area. So there is Base Park, Base Road Park. And then what I do is I have this split up in two screens. You can do a compare, and I do compare, and then I do side by side. So I have a slider, so I'll show you in a second. And then I use aerials, and San Antonio only goes to aerials to 55. So I click on that, and I look to see what the aerial photo is of where the park is, and I use a slider show me where the park was. So I don't see any distinctive features there. I move on. I mark that park as checked off. So let me show you another park here that I know for sure. Like, let's go to this Northridge Park. So let me go back to maps. Let me type in Northridge. Northridge Park. Let me copy its address. Do the exact same process I was doing before, pasting it up into my there. I'm gonna paste it and enter. And there's Northridge Park. I'm gonna go over here to the aerial photos. All right. So you can use your slider. And if you want, you can use, I have it set up on aerials also, so I can go new aerials, 1920, and you can compare the old with the new. So here you can see a baseball field, looks like a building, maybe a baseball field, and then you can go use the slider over to see what it looks like today. So you can kind of see that right there. So when I go to this property, it's still a park. So when I go there, I want to hit this area, and I want to definitely hit this area. And I'll skip this area. I mean, I could go into this, probably a school, but definitely this and this. And then if I go back to the Atlas view, so I'm just going to go up here and click Atlas or the map view. You can see that it's an L shape, and that's actually church property up there. You can see that it's an L shape. So definitely want to hit all of this park, and that's why I check mark it. So for San Antonio, they have a rule that says that they give you this big list of parks, and you have to send in for a permit, but they will only permit you to permit up to 20 parks. So I'm going through finding all the parks that show that there was either one of two things: that there was a park there, a school there, that's a park now, in 55, so I know it's old enough. And the second thing is if sometimes it's an open field, but there has to be a lot of houses around it. And that usually just means that may not have been a park back in the day, but it became a park later, but people used it. So that's one of the things that I look for and what I mark on these things. So what I'm doing is I'm marking down my list and getting at least 20 parks. In San Antonio, I will submit the parks. I'll type out all the parks and submit the list and get my permit. And I think the permit's good for 6 months in San Antonio. And then when I get to San Antonio, I will have the places all ready to go that I need to go to, that I want to go to, and that I'm allowed to go to. So I'm trying to do this for some of the areas. I'm Stockton, California. I'll be in that area. I already have a couple places marked out. San Antonio will be there for a while. I'm going to be detecting, I think, a little bit on the Florida beach. I want South Carolina. So I'm going to be staying in a place called Point South. It's an RV park, and it's 45 minutes from Savannah and 45 minutes from Charleston. And I know that there's a lot of plantations and such around there, and I don't know the area well enough, but I'm pretty sure that it's public. I think public lands might be pretty well open. I mean, parks and schools, but I know that there are rules and limitations to that. So if you see this video and you're out there in the South Carolina area and Georgia, because I'll be really close to Savannah, let me know, because I would like to find some places. I reached out to one person from South Carolina. He just said go knock on a door and ask, and that's probably what I could do. I just don't know. I'm not a big door knocker, but anyways, yeah. If anybody out there from the South Carolina and the northern, that Savannah area, if you have any places that you would recommend for me, let me know. I mean, I'm really mostly a park hunter, but I wouldn't mind going into some woods. So if you guys know of any good places to go that's just open for, no problems, let me know. Point South, like I said, it's right in between Savannah and Charleston. So thanks for watching. That's how I find my parks. That's the process in a new city. So if they don't have the old areas, you could use the topographical. And I could show you that real quick too, just to show you what that looks like if you haven't used this before. So if you don't have the aerials, you can go onto topographicals. And sometimes the topographicals will go back farther, and sometimes they don't. Like this one only goes to 59. But topographicals will also help you in a sense because they show churches back in 59, and you can slide your topographical around. You have to kind of go slow. Look at this. Swimming pool. That's kind of interesting. I mean, if it was a swimming hole, it would be another story. Memorial Park. So and then what you could do is you can slide over with your other thing and see what it is. Sunset Memorial Park. Looks like that was there and established back in 59. And then you'll find schools on here. Look at that. There's a speedway. So you'll find landmarks on topographicals that you probably won't see on today because they're all usually built over. And see, I'm trying to find, there it is right there. Little flag. That symbolizes a school. And besides, this one does say school on there. So what you could do, what I do sometimes with topographicals, is I will use my slider and see if there's a school still there. And it doesn't look like there is a school there anymore. Sometimes, if you're out in the woods, you can find those old school spots. And that's it. Thanks for watching.
All right, here's the problem with these headphones. Okay, shows that it's on, right? All right, so if I unplug this, still shows it's on, right? All right, so I'm going to plug it back in. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. There it goes. It's off. Doo-doo-doo. All right, Now I'm going to turn my car on, because see, this is plugged into the car, the inverter in the car. So as soon as I turn the ignition over, right, like right there, power is applied to the inverter. So it's charging currently. Now I'm going to turn the car off. They stay on. Why? Can somebody out there tell me? Because I haven't read directions on this thing. That's really bad, because that means I have to leave it on a charger, overcharge them, or monitor it, and I can't just leave it. So it's stupid, because I want it to be turned off when I'm done recording. That's why my battery went dead the other day. So that kind of ticks me off. Ticks me off.